Time to get geeked up.
Like we've been talking about, all of this Tiger King talk, in the world of rednecks, kind of got us thinking. There's been so many great interpretations of white trash on screen.
It's been a big genre, hit genre for a long time, I guess. Like you said, lots of interpretations and portrayals.
For sure. So we're just going to take a closer look and name some of our favorite white trash characters from maybe movies, TV, and I'm going to kick it off, actually, with just in the line of Tiger King being a documentary. I want to kick mine off with another documentary, and it came out a few years ago. It was produced by the Jackass boys, Johnny Knoxville himself, but it's called The Wild, Wonderful Whites of West Virginia.
Okay. I think I've seen that come up on one of my streaming services, actually, or something.
It's on Amazon now, man, and if you've never watched it, it's totally worth a watch. It makes Tiger King look like Full House, dude.
Really?
It's about Jessica White, who's known as the Dancing Outlaw. He appeared in a lot of old country music videos, like this tap dancing.
Now, what year are we talking about? Like, are we...
I want to say in the 70s.
70s, okay.
Maybe even the 60s. PBS ran a special on him years ago.
Okay,
about Jessica White. And this is about his family, and it's just some of the craziest shit you've ever seen in your life.
Okay, so in like a Leon Black situation, their last name is White, and they're crazy, white trash.
Like this lady gives birth to her baby in the hospital, and then 5 minutes later, in her hospital room, she's snorting oxy.
Wow, didn't wait long. I mean, I guess they're no longer pregnant, so I guess.
And then like immediately the state takes the baby away.
Wow. So, and you said that was produced by Knoxville in the gang and Tremaine in the gang?
Produced by Johnny Knoxville.
Interesting.
Like House Productions. It's some of the craziest watch. If you're going through Tiger King withdrawals, I'll definitely recommend watching The Wild, Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. It's uncomfortable how just seedy it is.
And is that just a one-off documentary, like a one-off movie? You said?
Yeah, it's not a TV series. Yeah, it's like a one-off hour-and-a-half documentary.
Okay, interesting. All right. Well, that's your first. My first one, I'm going to get back into Tiger King, I guess, and just give you a couple of my first impulse ones that I mentioned on Tiger King, okay? But for me, when you think redneck, I guess, it all starts off with Cletus, the slack-jawed yokel from The Simpsons. Okay.
Okay, sure.
As my prominent, that is my go-to. I'll call them Cletus if I see them. I'll imagine them doing, having dead possums and different Cletus slack-jawed yokel activities. All right. And then I guess the other one for me, I guess, would really be Joe Dirt as the other, really first and foremost. Yeah, the obvious, flag-waving, movie character redneck.
For sure. I guess sticking with the cartoon aspect of it, I would have to say Hank Hill from King of the Hill.
Okay, of course. The whole cast of King of the Hill.
Yeah, really, Boomhauer.
Yeah, let's not forget Boomhauer here. But those are definitely two shows, Joe Dirt and King of the Hill, where the whole comedy world, it's not just the character, but it's like the whole, the whole thing is in the world of white trash comedy. You know what I mean?
For sure. And I guess if we're going with obvious ones, then I also want to throw out, obviously, the banjo-playing inbred kid from Deliverance.
Okay, yeah, he's definitely... I mean, Deliverance is one of those that actually is interesting for me because I've never even seen Deliverance. Okay, nor have I ever seen Sling Blade, which I'm sure will come up on the list. But those are such notorious redneck movies... that those are the first two that even I think of and associate with rednecks. And I've never even seen, look at these guys, they're from Deliverance. Never seen Deliverance. Yet that totally holds weight with me.
But then I guess if you're going a little less obvious, but a lovable classic character who's clearly white trash, I'm going to say Cousin Eddie from the Vacation movies.
Of course, yes. Definitely on my list as well, but
okay.
Best known for just emptying the shitter, but
yeah, of course.
But definitely, he was, kind of like I mentioned, as opposed to the some of the other shows, like he was kind of a one-off character that brought the world of white trash to the Griswold vacation. You know what I mean? And was just a hilarious stereotype. Perfectly portrayed. I guess another great character, I guess, is kind of a little bit more from the world of redneck category, but another one of my favorite definitive redneck characters, but Nicolas Cage from Raising Arizona, Hi McDonough.
Hi McDonough.
Yeah.
Of course. That was on my list.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the go-to. Just like that's what I realistically think of a redneck to be like a more accurate portrayal as opposed to just an over-the-top stereotype of.
Absolutely, and if you're gonna go Hi McDonough, then you got to go with a big fan favorite here at the Geeked Up podcast, Adam Sandler, Bobby Boucher in The Waterboy.
Yes, that's another good Adam Sandler voice there.
Yeah, mama wishes.
But yeah, I guess I kind of forgot about him. I guess he's a little bit more of a bayou boy, but I guess those count. But,
that counts as white trash to me.
yeah, I know, for sure. But I guess there are a couple other big, like, famous comedic ones. All right, as I guess an entire comedy empire has been built on the whole redneck and blue collar thing, anyway. But of course, it all started off with the granddaddy of all rednecks, I guess, Jeff Foxworthy. And you're a redneck. You're a redneck when you're listening to Jeff Foxworthy.
It's the number one selling comedy album of all time. I think he's made the most money of comedy albums out of anybody that's released comedy albums is Jeff Foxworthy.
Interesting. I see. Now, I would have thought it was Larry the Cable Guy. I guess he's number 2 on the fucking list, but
yeah.
He kind of.
I don't even mean like the blue collar. I mean like comedy albums, like in general, like all the old Bill Cosby albums, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor albums. Jeff Foxworthy's made more money off comedy albums than any comedy.
And like in total, like aggregate albums of like all of them. That tracks because, as like you said, he's been doing them for so long, and he really is much more of like a respected comic than some of these other guys. Where Larry the Cable Guy, especially, he was kind of a little bit of like a flavor of the month. He had like a hot year where it was all the craze, but then a lot of like David Cross, a liberal backlash, we'll call it. And he had the whole like War of Words with David Cross kind of thing, and ever since then, you just really like he kind of got blackballed by the by liberal America in a lot of ways. Either that or the joke just ran out with stupid Larry the Cable Guy, but
yeah.
Either or.
I guess like Jeff Foxworthy though, I think somebody else that made a big career out of. Kind of being a redneck and just playing the character a lot in the 90s, too, was Jim Varney playing Ernest P. Worrell in all the Ernest movies and commercials.
Of course. I was, I've been sitting on Ernest, but Ernest Goes Everywhere definitely got this whole thing started. And he was definitely from the mold of... Yeah, and he was definitely from the mold of bringing the white trash to the situation, where it was just like, because like you just mentioned, camping, jail, whatever it was, Ernest would come and white trash it up with his fishing coat.
I mean, Ernest was huge. Ernest was doing car commercials, Mellow Yellow soda commercials. He had a Saturday morning show on, plus all the movies. No,
you're right, dude. Ernest was fucking huge. He was.
I don't think kids today would have any fucking clue what we're talking about. But
yeah, man, that's a good call. Like, I don't know, does the world have like pop culture phenomenons like it did back then, like your Urkels and your Ernests and whatnot?
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure Urkel was doing an American Express commercial somewhere.
Well, we got big spoiler alert, but big Urkel news coming up. I forgot to mention Urkel so far on this show, but make sure to listen tomorrow to Netflix and chat for very big Urkel news. All right, spoiler alert.
I myself am curious about this one.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna drop the hammer tomorrow, but.
All right, I have a few horror rednecks. Of course, the inbreds from The Hills Have Eyes.
Okay, Hills Have Eyes. Can I
And
go?
then,
I got one as well. I got the entire cast of Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Yeah, okay.
including
okay.
Leatherface.
Including
Right?
Leatherface, of course.
Yeah,
But yeah,
but
they were all white trash.
and that's
And then, of
definitely
course,
one that's even like if you happen to be a grown man that goes to seasonal haunted houses every year, right? You'll happen to always see that scene recreated, all right? And I guess it's probably the same thing from like Sling Blade, but that is definitely like a haunted house genre, much like a crazy psycho, abandoned funny farm kind of thing that always gets recreated, and then you will always get crazy rednecks recreated in
Every time.
any given haunted house.
every time. I guess the other horror, or not even horror, but just straight up murderers, white trash, I would say Nikki and Mallory Knox from Natural Born Killers.
Great call. I did not have them on the list, but yeah, totally. Like you said, a little bit, overshadowed by the psychotic murdering was the was the hilarious red trash lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, come on. When Ronnie Dangerfield's your dad, on-screen dad, no, come on, let me just touch you a little bit. You're some white trash.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I got a few more. So another kind of one, a sleeper, I would say, but the character Burt Gummer from Tremors.
Okay, not familiar.
Remember the movie
Hilarious white
Tremors
trash
about
name.
the giant worms. Burt Gummer's the one that has all the guns, and he's married to Reba McEntire.
Okay, all right. I mean,
You don't
definitely
get more
white trash.
country
If you're married to Reba McEntire in either the real world or on film or screen,
Yeah.
definitely. I got a couple. I've got like a different genre altogether. Do you have any more horror movie?
I don't have any more horror movies.
Because I've got a different way that we can go to kind of like bring it back to Tiger King a little bit. But there was the whole hilarious boom of like reality white trash shows that, of course, Duck Dynasty guys, I guess, would probably be the most prevalent.
Gotcha.
But really all of those, like, Jesse James and what was his like motorcycle show called? Like any of those. There was that whole like, if you were white trash, you had your own. If you were white trash and did some crazy job, you had like a camera crew following you around.
That's such a good call, man.
Moonshiners
MTV
is one of my
had
faves.
some show, and it was supposed to be like the,
Who did?
The MTV. had
Okay,
a show,
MTV.
and it was supposed to be like the Jersey Shore version of like what redneck kids partying.
Yeah, Floribama.
No, not Floribama, but way before that. And I forget what it was called, but before the second season came out, one of the kids died with his uncles while he was out like four-wheeling hunting. He froze to death, so they canceled the series.
He froze to death?
Yeah.
What?
Like,
Jesus,
his name was something like Billy Bob too, and they were like, man. And then he
Fuck,
died.
yeah.
Like, all right, you know what? He was the best character. We're just not going to do this anymore.
Ironically, you wouldn't think rednecks would die of freezing too often. However, a redneck activity to die of freezing to death. You're probably
Yeah, for sure.
when the sun was up, you were definitely a redneck until it went down and you froze to death somehow. But so there was that whole genre, and countless more. I guess Honey Boo Boo in the list. But
Of course.
you
How
can
could I
just dig as
forget
deep
Honey
as you
Boo Boo?
want, and like the between 2005 and 2015 reality. Even I can throw Ice Road Truckers from the same, or the fucking assholes Wicked Tuna, those idiots that are just fucking rednecks, but rednecks on
I
sea.
guess the only other one I really have is, and only because it's my favorite Will Ferrell role of all time, but you got to go Ricky Bobby.
Okay, yeah, great call.
I mean,
Definitely.
you don't get more redneck than a NASCAR driver.
Yeah, for sure. Than a NASCAR driver. But definitely from the world of redneck, where the entire movie was kind of just a hilarious redneck stereotype.
Oh, for sure. Even between him or Cal Naughton Jr.
I mean, it's kind of amazing that Tiger King, that like character, like a redneck animal, animal expert, hasn't been like broached before, because really perfect on so many levels. 'Twas the Tiger King.
Yeah, I mean, it really had. I mean, we've talked about it so much, but it just really had everything.
Everything redneck.
Everything redneck.
Except sleeves.
And everything else. Everything. Murder and cults and tigers and fucking monkey shirts.
Yeah. No,
It had it all.
It had it all.
I don't think there'll ever be another like it. But those are some of our favorite rednecks, favorite white trash, if you will.
I mean, I'd say Joe Exotic definitely takes the cake. There's a new number one in town, and I'm looking straight at you, Ernest.
Ooh, baby, it's time to get geeked up.